our mentors are the very first people that our students see. So we have to make sure that when we choose our mentors, or sometimes they choose us, that it's a good fit. And we are really blessed to have some excellent mentors on our program that have done just that and more. Because so many of these students are told, you'll never be able to go to college. Yeah. You won't amount to anything. But you see the little sliver of hope they get when they come into our program, and how they grow that little seed into such a big reward at the end. It's, I think, my favorite part of the program.
I'm Joana Rodriguez, and yes, I am a peer mentor for both the Wai'ale'ale and Kipai scholars. So I want to share a little bit about my story. Sorry. So I am a recovering addict. I've struggled with my addiction for 6 years on and off. And when I heard about this program, I was at my lowest. We call it our rock bottom. So I've opened many CPS cases. I've been to jails, and any treatment program that's offered here on the island. At a very young age, I started using drugs, and that just led to, just a cycle of constant drug use, getting clean and stuff. But because of my addiction, I dropped out of high school in 10th grade, and it was a deal with my mom that I made that I would get my GED, and I did that. I got my GED, and after I got my GED, my mom brought me to KCC, and I think I was 16 at that time, and she said, well, you got your GED now you gotta go to college. So she tricked me. She got me out of school and then went to college. So when I came here and I applied to KCC, I wanted to get into the nursing program. And because I was 16, I was way too young. And so the counselor told me that I had to come back in a year. And so I said, okay, perfect, I have a year. Well, within that year, I got pregnant with my son. And he's 13 now. He's going to be 14. Yeah. And, after a year of my son being born, I got deeper into my addiction. I became addicted to opiates and methamphetamine, or just any drug that was available. And opened my first CPS case and just did what I had to do. They opened it. I did my programs, I did my parenting classes, and I got custody of my son back. And then I relapsed right after that. As soon as I closed my case, I went back to using, and I got pregnant with my daughter shortly after, like 4 years after, and opened my second CPS case because my daughter was born prematurely, and she was 7 months premature due to my addiction. And so I opened that case and did the same thing, did all the classes they wanted me to do. I went to treatments, parenting classes, just whatever I needed to do to close the case. And so I did that. And then I relapsed again. So it was just a cycle of just getting clean, using, getting clean, using, until finally I got sick from my addiction. So towards the ending of my addiction, I started using drugs intravenously, and I got really sick. I got a staph infection, I got pneumonia, and endocarditis, which is blood clots forming in my heart, and was hospitalized for 2 months. And so I say that when I was hospitalized for those 2 months, that was my higher power just putting me in my place, sitting me down in that hospital room and telling me, okay, Joanna, you gotta get it together because you're gonna die. And yeah, I was on the verge of dying because the doctor would always come in and say, I don't know how you're alive today. You should be grateful. You have angels because you should be dead today. He goes, I don't know how you made it. And so that was my wake-up call. That was my, like, okay, you got to do something different. And so I was released from the hospital. I got my third CPS case open, and I said, this time I'm going to do what I have to do to get clean and not do this ever again. And so I checked myself into an outpatient treatment called McKenna Recovery Center. And I just did whatever they asked me to do in that class. I went to class every day, and that's when I saw one of my mentors, and my mentor at that time. And she was just sharing her story and talking about school and how great school was and how she got this scholarship. And I saw this glow and this happiness inside of her that, I wanted. I was like, how do I get that? Can you help me? Please, help me get into the program. And she said, sure. I can help you. Meet me at the college tomorrow. So the next day came, and she called me, and I forgot. I was in my bed sleeping in my pajamas, and she's like, well, come to the college right now. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming. So I came, and she introduced me to Miss Tabuchi. And I didn't know Miss Tabuchi. She had no idea who I was, and I had no idea who she was, but she was there to help me. So she helped me apply for the scholarship, and she helped me write my referral letter. And so she sat me there in her office, and she's like, why do you deserve this scholarship? Why do you want this scholarship? And I just told her everything. I was like, I'm just at that point in my life where I'm gonna share my story because, I need help, right? And so that's the only way I thought of doing it. So I shared my story, and I walked away that day thinking, okay, if I get the scholarship, great. If I don't, then, that's fine too, because who's gonna give a recovering addict who opened 3 CPS cases, who's been to jail, is on probation, money, to go to school? Who's gonna do that? So I was at my lowest, right? And so I walked away, and I think a month or two later, when they were announcing who was awarded, they told me. My mentor called me, and she's like, you got it, you got the scholarship. And I was like, oh, okay, yay. Like a little bit scared, but also just really like, wow, okay, this is an opportunity that I need to take, right? And so I'm really grateful for this program because, like they mentioned, Auntie Leia and Auntie Kalei, they provide financial support for the students, but not just financial support. They provide it's like a counselor, right? Your mentor is like your personal counselor who's just gonna walk you through the beginning to the ending of your first semester. And even till this day, I have students that I mentored like 5 years ago, and they're still texting me, and so that's what really helped me. Is anytime I had an issue, anytime I struggled in my classes, I would call my mentor, or I would walk up to the office and talk to Auntie Lahea or Auntie Kalei and be like, I don't know what to do, just help me freaking out. And they're just there, right, to be that support and to help guide me through my college education. After my first semester of college, I closed my third CPS case, and got full custody of my children back. And then after my first year of college, I got a 4.0 GPA, so I was on the dean's list and was offered to become a peer mentor. So, college really played a key role in my recovery, in my addiction. And I don't know what would have happened if I didn't take this chance and I didn't get this opportunity. I think I'd probably be dead right now, because college just gave me that sense of purpose in life. Like, I felt like finally I wasn't going in the same cycle, relapsing, using drugs, working a regular 9-to-5 job, and now I was focusing on my education. I was getting good grades, which is something that was just not what I was used to, and I just felt purposeful. Like, my life just did a whole 180, and drugs was like never a part of my life is how I felt at that time. And so becoming a peer mentor really is something dear to me, because I want to help other people that are in my situation, which we've had several recovering addicts, and we still do, come through this program, and just I just see their success, and it's just like so amazing to see that, because Kauai doesn't have much of that support in the recovering area, in the drug scene. So this is another way to help them see how valuable and how much purpose they have in their life.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank
I
you.
super appreciate it.